Welcome to night number 86 of History Bedtime Stories, in bed, in our pajamas, and tonight we're talking about Chief Pontiac. Pontiac was born to the Ottawa tribe somewhere around 1720 on the land bordering the Detroit River. He has really mixed descriptions of his physical appearance, and there are no contemporary paintings of him. Because the mixed descriptions of his physical stature are so varied, it can be understood that many people probably knew of him during his lifetime, but few saw him. So they filled in descriptions of him kind of hither and thither, and they all entered into the historic record, making it very difficult and confusing to describe what he would have looked like. What we do know is that he married multiple times and had several wives at the same time. He also had at least one son that lived to adulthood. By the time Chief Pontiac reaches his early 20s, he's already accepting of that title, Chief, and he is allied with the French against the British occupation of Detroit and the surrounding regions in what is modern-day Ohio, Illinois, and Michigan. Also, a little bit of Indiana. At the same time, Pontiac is becoming a disciple of a man known as Prophet Neolin. Prophet Neolin was Native American, part of the Delaware tribe, and he had what can only be described as a cult. He believed in some of the references to Christianity, but what Neolin really believed is that all the tribes needed to go back to an old way of life. They needed to give up and get gone all of the technology of what they considered the modern-day Europeans of the 1700s and go back to the old way of life. Pontiac latches onto this, but he kind of cherry picks out the parts that work for him. He definitely is anti-English. He's fine with the parts of Christianity referenced in the tenements, but what he doesn't want is all the technology gone. And by technology, we mean guns, hardened steel, and alcohol. Pontiac keeps the technology, keeps the anti-English, and is fine with the Christianity where it falls. By 1763, he's an influential leader, and he's brought together members of over a dozen different Native American tribes and Canadian First Nation tribes to fight against the British. This becomes known as Pontiac's War. Out of 12 battles and sieges to forts throughout the region, the Native American conglomerate, all of these tribes working together under Chief Pontiac, wins 8 out of 12 battles. Most famous among these battles is the Battle of Bloody Run. During that unbelievable massacre, the Native Americans under Pontiac are able to kill 30 British soldiers, including a very important general. Because of that, a price is put on Chief Pontiac's head. 200 pounds. 200 pounds was more money than the British crown had put on Captain Kidd the pirate's head. They wanted Pontiac. That bond would never be cashed. Pontiac keeps going, and he really, through 1764, brings in the Maumee and the Wabash. He leads the Maumee and the Wabash Native American tribes against the Shawnee Native American tribes. He works to negotiate peace between these three groups, and when he manages it, is considered a really important, successful leader of the tribes of America in the 1760s. But he also gets a little big for his britches. He thinks he's leading the confederation of all of the Native Americans, and a lot of tribes don't like him. They don't like the idea that he's okay with whiskey. They don't like the Christianity that's being brought in, and they don't like the idea of keeping the guns and technology. As dissension in the ranks starts brewing, people get madder and madder at Pontiac, and on April 20th, 1769, Chief Pontiac is murdered in Illinois by a chief of the Peoria tribe. This murder is really the reckoning of Pontiac saying he was in charge of everyone and everyone not wanting to come under him. Pontiac, Pontiac's War, and Pontiac's Rebellion are a big part of early Detroit. I hope you are enjoying History Bedtime Stories. If you are, give us a like and a share down below. Wash your hands. We'll see you tomorrow night.